Hello, Patrick.
Hello. I have a question. Ramana said to Annamalai Swami, be always with the self. When you work, when you do anything, be always with the self.
Right.
And what does he mean with the self?
Actually, Ramana was teaching different people differently. And then after that, when Ramana was not more there, there was a lot of discussion. Bhagavan was teaching like this and Bhagavan was teaching like that. And that's the proper way of doing self-inquiry, and that is the proper way. I know that he was telling to Annamalai Swami, just learn to see everything as the self. That this is his meditation, his sadhana. That in this way, whatever he's doing, with whomever he had to contact, that he learned not to create that sense of separation. Learning to see everything as the self. First, he was very active, and then he told him, now you did enough. And then from then on, Annamalai Swami was very reclusive, introverted, sitting a lot. But still, he kept on in his way, like Ramana Maharshi has taught him to unfold. That was his way of doing the inquiry. It was not the usual inquiry, just see everything as the self. Everything is I. I. To other people, Ramana instructed them differently. And it is perfectly right, the one way to go about it, and perfectly right the other way. Now you ask, but what is the self? That is exactly what you have to find out. It's that which makes every sensation possible. It's that which makes every thought possible. It's that which makes every feeling possible. That which is the first, that sense of presence. When you say I, without the thought, without I'm like this, I'm like that, but you just say I, immediately your attention is touching something so totally familiar. That which was there your whole life long, but we never really pay attention to that first thing, but we pay attention to all that comes out of it. We cannot say we don't know it because it's the closest, it's the first, it's the most familiar. But we cannot say we know it because there is no way of knowing the self. There is no definition for the self. It's not like you can know an object. You can know the properties of the object. You can know, but then you are the subject and you know about the object. But the self is the subject that knows itself by being, not by defining. You cannot possibly say you don't know what the self is, because when you say I, you're aware of that most familiar sense of presence.
So would it be a good advice to be all day long with the attention by the eye?
Yes, if that is an approach that appeals to you. For some people, this would not work at all. Then you find other ways to bring the attention back to that sense of presence. But if you just stay with that I am, Look, Nisargadatta, he met his guru only a few times. First, he gave him a mantra. Then he repeated that mantra very intensely. Within short time, he had all kinds of experiences. And then his guru said, you just stay with that Zen. Yeah. And that's what he did, as good as he could. In his spare time, he was sitting all by himself. I am. But he was living in a family. He was doing his speeding, smoking his speedies. So he was rolling his speedies. I am. He was selling his speedies. I am. He was smoking his speedies. I am. He was looking after his family. I am. Getting more and more totally immersed in that sense of presence. Simply staying with that sense. I am. That most familiar sense, and yet that sense that is most of the time totally overlooked.
When for somebody is this possible to stay always with the I am, what is the difference to self-realization?
To self-realization.
Yes.
First, we have to make an effort because the habit will pull us away all the time. And then it becomes natural, spontaneous, happening all by itself.
Okay, so, the only difference is that this happened by itself.
Right.
Is this right?
Right. I mean, you may certainly rotate into a different perspective that you start to see and feel, experience yourself, the world and everything in a different way, see more connections. What the whole damn story is about. But it happens different to different people. People give descriptions what their big enlightenment is, and then others try to imitate them, and there we are wrong. You have not to imitate anyone. You just stay with yourself, and then your way of unfolding will happen beautifully in its own unique way, not an imitation of anybody else. But if once that struggling part is over and it comes naturally that you just are connected, then from there the experience of it will start to unfold, and there's no limit, there's no end to it.
Thank you very much, Werner.
You're welcome. Most welcome. Hari Om. Hari Om. Actually, it's a good question, Patrick asked. What is self-realization? And there are so many who claim they know what it is and say it's like this, it's like this, and this is happening, and that is happening, and if this is not there, it's not realization. The self is already real. The self need not realize. It's just somehow we have to wake up from that hypnosis of being a separate being instead of being connected with the whole. But what experiences that come on the way, in what way a shift in consciousness happens, a shift in experience, it can happen in so many different ways. And it's wrong to think, this one said that's necessary, this must happen, otherwise it's not a realization. The other says, no, that is a realization. Or they give descriptions, colorful descriptions of their enlightenment experience, which usually I don't take too serious when I hear them, but that's another story. No. But then, if you can draw inspiration from those stories for yourself, for your sadhana, for your spiritual development, then it's great. Then they are very valuable. But if we take the words for reality, there we are caught again in concept. And if we take those words for reality, this is how it is, then immediately everything becomes limited again, and we aspire to that, trying to reproduce what we understood from that description and think that's how it goes. And it's better not to keep ideas like this. Oh, read the stories of great beings like Ramana Maharshi or Sri Ramakrishna when you read stories of other great beings. Even if they talk about their experiences and you feel elevated, you feel inspired, great, wonderful. But not with the idea, in order to get somewhere, I have to imitate them. Imitate their sincerity. But all the rest is their story, and your story, my story are different. Each story is unique. And the way how consciousness is opening, how the heart is opening, how the love is growing, how the energy is increasing. Each story is new and unique and beautiful. So let's also dare not handicap ourselves by trying to imitate others, even if they are great beings. Connect with them, draw inspiration from them, get support from them. Sometimes people really connect with a great being who is not more in this world and get a lot of support from it. But we need not try to imitate their story. Their story is a story. Even a great being story is a story. Some stories are extremely inspiring. Those are wonderful, and we can benefit from that inspiration. Never forget, your story is your story, unique in its own beauty, and need not match whatever has happened to somebody else, whatever somebody said, that and that and that should happen. Learn to be here now. At ease, peace, quiet and open. And it will unfold. Maybe for a long time we're not quite aware how it is unfolding. I think not much is happening. And still subtly something is happening if we keep on it.